So here is the X-Desk, and as you see, it looks just like a big SSL, only smaller. Let's go down the channel. At the top we have an input gain for the line input, and each channel has two inputs, which we call line and alternate. You can switch between inputs at the top of the channel. So perhaps one input for your mic preamp, one input for the return from your computer, tracking, mixing, tracking, mixing. Then a phase invert and an insert point on every channel. Like all SSLs, the insert send is always active. The insert return brings it into the channel. We then have an LED for signal, green, yellow and red, and then the channel output. Typically the channel output can be direct after the gain, but if you want to switch post fader, you can use the fader to send into your computer. Then we have the Q stereo bus, and this allows you to make a headphone mix for the singer with level and pan. This can come from either the line input or the alternate input, and we can switch this to post fader if we want the mix to match what we have here. When you are mixing, you can switch the Q bus into the mix bus to give you 16 inputs, and like on a big console, big fader, small fader, each with level and pan. We then have two aux sends for reverb or delay or whatever else you have, and then the main pan pot and a solo and cut for each of the main faders. One thing we thought was very important with the X-Desk was to have a real center section for talkback, for monitor switching. So here we have our monitor volume, and like all SSLs it goes to 11, very rock and roll. The talkback microphone is here with a volume control, and we can select the talkback by pressing the button, and this can switch between moments or latching. On the right hand side we have the controls for the monitors. Two sets of speakers, a mono check, and we can choose what we monitor. The main mix bus, a stereo external input, or on the front panel we have a mini jack for your iPod. So when someone comes to your studio and says, "You must hear this," you can put it on the front. Or we can have any of these together. On the right hand side we have the headphone socket for the engineer, which gives you the mix bus. But if you are in your bedroom and you do not have a separate headphone amp for the singer, we can switch the Q bus to come to the front headphones to give to the singer. At the top we have two stereo aux returns, and these can be mono as well as stereo, and we can send these to the Q bus or the mix bus or both. So if the singer wants some reverb on their headphones, you can patch in your reverb to the Q bus. Finally we have our master fader and an insert point on the main mix for bus compression or bus EQ. We have full range metering, and the joy of the X-Desk is that not only can it be on the desk, you can also mount it in a rack, and the rack ears come in the box with the X-Desk.